Welcome to Lawndale Lifestyle, the show about building a healthy community. We're excited today to tell you a little bit about the tennis program that's been started in the school district, as well as yoga, getting kids and families interested in doing something a little bit different maybe they haven't tried before. So first we'll start by talking with Tiffany Geller-Reed, who's with us today. Thank you, Tiffany, so much for being here. We're excited to have you tell us a little bit about the program. So can you first tell us a little bit about yourself and about the United States Tennis Association?
I work for the United States Tennis Association. I've been playing wheelchair tennis for 25 years. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm disabled. I was in a car accident 25 years ago. And so now I use a wheelchair, and I've played around the world playing wheelchair tennis. I'm also married and have a brand new baby little girl. I work for the USTA. The USTA is the governing body of tennis for the United States, and it's broken into 17 sections. We have our section here is Southern California, and it goes from San Luis Obispo to San Diego. So I cover school tennis. We try to get trainings and try to get teachers to be trained in tennis so they can teach tennis to their kids in their schools. And that's how I came to get to know, to come to Lawndale.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. I'm so impressed by the work that you do. Your team covers such a wide area, and the fact that you've devoted all this time and attention to our district and to our community, I really appreciate it. And then your own personal story is just so inspiring because it really shows that you don't have to play tennis in any conventional way, whether it be students with learning disabilities or people with maybe physical disabilities, but it seems as though anybody can play tennis if they want to. Is that right?
Yes, you can play any way, and just, you know, it depends on what level you want to play, but I've played at a high level around the world, so.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I've played in tennis tournaments. I've gone to Australia, Europe, I've gone all over the place, so yeah, you can play at many different levels, so.
I think that would be fascinating for our community as well, just thinking about it, you know, if you really take it on and become good at it, or if it's a passion of yours, that it could probably even take you traveling around the world, potentially.
You can, and you can also get scholarships. It's a really great sport.
I love that. And then we've been doing a lot of work trying to build a tennis program within just Lawndale, just starting there. Can you tell us a little bit about how you've been helping us to either, some teachers actually were teaching tennis previously, but a lot of teachers hadn't. So tell us about some of the ways that you've been helping either build the programs that were already existing or with the startup, and how our students would really benefit from tennis.
Lawndale's been a little different district than what I normally do. We've done a lot of trainings in Lawndale. We've actually trained over 130 teachers over the past 2 years. We've come out quite a bit, but we've really put a lot of effort. I'm really excited to see what can happen in Lawndale, and to have, you know, almost every kid be able to at least exposed and see where they can go with tennis, because tennis can take you a lot of different places, and I know a lot of these kids might not have ever been exposed to tennis.
I totally agree, and it's so exciting because, I mean, the whole goal of all of these physical activity programs is just to get them up and moving, but I think the more we expose them to different forms of activity, they can find whatever they're passionate about, and that's why I'm so excited that you and your team have devoted so much time to Lawndale so that kids are exposed to it, like you said. And so we want to get them active, but in particular with tennis, how do kids or families benefit from tennis?
Tennis is a great sport gets you healthy and gets you moving. You can really move quite a bit. It also helps with your academics. It's just really a great sport. You can be playing for a lifetime. You can play with your families. I mean, we have people that play in their 90s. We have tournaments that are for 90s and up. And you can start when you're playing, as we've trained some of the teachers in kindergarten, the kindergarten teachers, so some of the 5-year-olds. So it's really been a great way to play for a lifetime.
And that was one of the things that I think we were questioning, you know, if we were bringing tennis to Lawndale, what age would we start it at? Would kinders even be able to play? If we were buying equipment, would we include, kinders or smaller kids in it? And I remember some of the kinder teachers saying, we're going to do it. We want to do it. And I said, okay, if you're game, we'll get the equipment. We'll have you be part of the training. So can you tell us a little bit about how the program is designed to be able to involve students of all ages and sizes?
Well, the exciting thing how to do it on the school grounds is you don't need an actual tennis court, because most of the schools, except for I think the high school, do not have tennis courts. So we've put up little pop-up nets. and used the Foursquare or used what the playground actually has. We also have modified equipment. So this is a little racket for first or second graders. It's a lot smaller, but it's a lot easier for the little kids to be able to actually play with it. We also have foam balls. The foam balls are soft and go a lot slower, so the kids can actually hit the ball and actually have success. Because there's nothing more aggravating than not having success and being able to hit the ball back and forth amongst your peers. So, and then this ball is the red ball that it's compression, so it bounces a lot lower. So it's at the right height for little kids. And then this is for if you're a little bit taller, maybe like 9 or 10 years old. So we've gotten the right equipment so the kids can be successful and be able to learn grassroots beginning tennis at your school and have some success and have a lot of fun.
And I think that's really important, like you said, because if the kids try it and they feel like they're failing and they're not getting anywhere, they might just give up. So if it's designed so that they can have more success and have more fun, I think that's a really great idea. And is that the Quick Start program?
This is the 10 and under program. So it's 10 and under, and there's lots of different programs all around Southern California, all around the country actually, for specific 10 and under getting started and playing tennis.
Wonderful. Well, we have some great footage from Anderson Elementary with Anne Schmitt's 3rd grade class. And Tiffany's just been telling us a little bit about how you can get creative with school grounds or at the park when you don't have a tennis court. You can still make use of the area. So let's take a look and see what Anne Schmitt's class is up to over at Anderson and how they've been able to bring tennis to their school.
Anne, thank you for having us here today. We're excited to be here with you. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've taught your kids about tennis or how they started to learn what you guys do?
Thank you, Siri. Well, we started tennis at the beginning of the year. I actually started training with the USTA tennis program with the schools probably about 10 years ago, and I went through their program. It's free to educators, and they set you up with free rackets and balls. Wonderful program. And I teach my kids a different sport every month, and we started doing tennis in the beginning of the year. So I go through all the different skills, and then when they build that up, know all that knowledge, we start the games, and then they have competitions amongst each other. The first lesson that I do is ball control, racket skills, ball handling skills, getting them used to the racket and the ball, hand-eye coordination. I use a USTA tennis curriculum for teachers. It's a fantastic teacher's curriculum that I've used, so I follow their lessons. Basically, can I have this group show me the ball rolling skill with the racket out, and you're rolling the ball in a circle. So we start with something like this. We have them roll the ball around slowly and controlled. And then when that is successful, we have them go in the other direction, if you can go in the other direction, boys and girls. And it's important to keep the level racket and your eye on the ball. And then we have the tap downs. Go ahead and tap the ball down, trying to maintain position there. And these are all good skills that build up for the game of tennis. And then we have the bump ups, where you do not want the ball to go above your head, and you bump the ball up with the racket. Good job keeping the racket level. They have a lot of fun with these on the first day of tennis. This is the volley station. So I would say the volley is like the spike in volleyball. It's a fun skill that the kids love to do. It's one of my favorite ones. And basically they stand here. It's a shot that you would take at the net where the ball is in the air. And we have a tosser over to the side, and they do a quick snap, quick punch with the racket. And hopefully successfully get it down into the court where their opponent cannot hit it back. So tennis is a big hand-eye coordination skill. So they're getting that airborne ball, doing the quick snap of the racket, focusing on getting it down. Right, London? Let's go down to the serving station. So at this station, it's fun. We have 2 targets over here. I have them start in the back, and they toss the ball up and keep their eye on the ball and hit the ball up at the peak. They're trying to get the ball into the hoops. So they're really having to focus. Serving is one of the most difficult things, and we definitely do some other drills. Someday we do just tossing the ball up because it's hard to toss that ball perfectly, right? And then the racket movement, which is hard, and the different steps. So there are many, many drills that we do with serving. And we're just keeping it simplified here with just tossing the ball from the back scratch position here. And they have a lot of fun with it.
And I can see it's also good with communication and teamwork, it looks like.
Absolutely. I have a leader for each group who's directing them and guiding them, and then they have to work together. Definitely teamwork, cooperation. It's skills that they use in a lifetime that are very, very important. Stations are very user-friendly for teachers. They shouldn't be afraid of getting them into stations. It is a very nice way to come out and teach PE. Because they have small groups, you put one responsible student in charge, and then I can rotate around and work with the students who need help and work with the small groups, which is ideal.
Very nice. And then we have one last station to look at.
That's the really fun station where they get to play with all the skills. So they get to put it all together. Your serve, start with your serve, then they do the forehand, backhand, volley. So they get to incorporate all their skills if they remember.
I was going to say, that's pretty impressive for 3rd grade. Okay, let's go take a look and see what they're doing.
Little competition going on.
So this is their doubles competition here?
This is the doubles competition. So they have their partner, and they have a little competition here. And they try to work together to get the most points and just have fun. The points don't win. We try not to make a big deal about points. This year with 3rd grade, I really try to make it fun. It doesn't matter who wins. Just get out there and play the game. With the teaching training, teachers are more comfortable. We had beginning, I guess it was in August, maybe last part of summer, and the whole staff was trained with the USTA, and so they could be more comfortable teaching tennis. And it was maybe 4 hours or so, and we did different stations. And you can do anything, even if you don't have tennis nets, you can put tape across 2 cones. You know, you can be creative. You can use a 4-square court and have each child, you know, in one of the squares and have competition. There were different stations that taught the teachers how to teach tennis. Various ways that they could implement it into the school year, and many teachers went into the school year feeling very comfortable with the new equipment that you provided for us through USTA, and I saw a lot of tennis activity. We actually had to have people signing up for using the tennis equipment because there was such a rush to, it's like the gold rush, right? And they all wanted to get out there with their class and use the tennis equipment, and it was fantastic. As long as we have that support and that training, the teachers feel confident.
Tell me a little bit about what you've learned since you've started playing tennis.
Well, I've learned how to do lots of things, like how to throw the ball and everything. It was kind of fun when we did the competition. Since all of the class were against each other, it was fun. I would like to play with my mom and my family, and I would like to teach them how to play tennis.
This is the sport that I will continue playing. It's so fun that you get to play with lots of people.
So exciting to hear your students talk about how over the summer they plan to bring tennis into their own homes and teach their parents and their siblings. You must feel really great about that.
I'm like a proud mother. I tell these children, if they ever make it big, don't forget about us, and we need tickets to your games. Every sport that I teach them, you know, I'm always proud to go to their games in middle school and high school and college, and I want them to have this lifelong skill, this sport, this recreational activity that they can continue with and enjoy, because we need to help young children have a passion for being active and getting off the couch and start moving and have fun. Even just hitting a tennis ball against the garage or a wall, right? I used to do that all the time as a child. Just get out there and move. And teachers can introduce their children to this without being nervous about it because of the programs that are provided to us the trainings through USTA.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Schmitt. It's been a pleasure. I love that, you've really utilized the resources that USTA has given you and all the training you've had over the years, and I can see that your students are really benefiting from it. So thank you for everything you've done.
Well, thank you for everything you've done for our district.
Well, I think we can all agree that that was pretty impressive, seeing a classroom teacher, having been trained by the USTA, teaching tennis to her students. And now we'll be taking a look at PE being taught at middle school level through PE teachers, who Tiffany has also helped us train. So let's take a look and see what they're up to at Rogers.
Welcome to Will Rogers Middle School, where we're going to be learning a little bit about their tennis program here as part of their PE department. We're going to be seeing 7th graders playing tennis, and we've been invited here by PE teacher Elton Lewis. Elton, thank you for inviting us to be with you today.
You're welcome. This is our first year of doing the tennis program, so it's really nice to have you guys out where you can see the kids developing their skills that they started in the elementary school, and hopefully we can advance those skills for them today.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Some of these students have been exposed to tennis, like you said, in elementary, but some of them, this may have been their first exposure to tennis. You might be working with some that actually had never even picked up a racket.
Yeah, the majority of the kids has not played tennis before, so basically their control and their perception of how hard to hit the ball is a little bit off, so that's what we've been working on, self-volleying and other skills that teach them how to control the ball and how hard to hit the ball.
And these are basic skills that actually help them in any sport, right? Learning control and balance and bouncing and just hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, just pretty much on-high coordination, also feet movements, lateral, forward, backward movements. You just get their agility up, because tennis is a game. It seems simple, but you have to do a lot of movement. So, this is what we get them moving, and that's fine.
And getting them moving is the ultimate goal, right? Getting these kids moving instead of in front of a TV or a video game.
That's the goal. That's the goal. If we can get them moving for a few minutes and let them have fun and don't even know that they're moving, then we accomplished something. We have 4 stations today, and over here we have kids that are self-volleying or rallying the ball to themselves, self-bouncing, just as to teach them control, to see how hard the ball will travel or how fast it will travel when you hit it, or how hard they needs to hit it in order to control it. Over here we are doing an activity they call a short court tennis. So they're playing in a much shorter court just to just to practice their control. I want them to be able to rally the ball back and forth without hitting it hard, and just nice precise movements where they're just going to pass it back and forth to each other. And as you can see, this is going to help them develop the skills that they need later on to hit the ball more accurately. This is just going to work on their racket speed to see how quickly they can move from one place to the next. And it's just a fun game, but it gets them moving, and we're just going to have a little fun with them today.
So again, a lot of skill building, but also making sure that they're getting that movement that they need so badly.
Exactly. Just what I would sometimes call trick them into moving, that they don't actually know that they're moving because they're having so much fun doing it.
I think that's a good strategy.
I learned how to be quick to catch the tennis racket, how to hit it into the square and earn points without letting my partner hit it, and just have fun. We get to go outside, stay active, and it's healthy for you. You use all your energy, and when it's time for lunch, you rebuild that energy and have more fun throughout the day.
It's healthy to do. It's a good sport, and I like it a lot.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you incorporated tennis into your PE curriculum?
You know, this was kind of a quick lesson plan that I put together just to get it going, so that we can see the interest, to see if the kids really like it. And then next school year in September, we will be fully incorporated right across the board for all the different levels. We will be playing tennis. And yeah, I do think that it's a skill, it's a sport that they will be able to develop and play throughout their lifetime, because you're going to have some kids that really likes it, and then when they have the opportunity to play, they're going to go and play.
And this could also prepare them for high school sports, as we were just talking about, because some of the local high schools do have tennis programs, and that could lead to possible scholarships and potential for college, don't you think?
Yeah, Yeah, because even right now, like there's a high school that I coach at, and people who go out for tennis, JV tennis, or people just picking up the rackets for the first time. When these kids from here move on to the high school, they will already have the opportunity to play tennis a few times, so they would have already have some of the fine skill that is necessary to play. And with them being bigger and more alert, they will be able to hit the ball even better. So they probably will be able to advance much quicker.
I would think so. And then also just one other point that I was thinking about is, there's a lot of statistics saying that if kids don't get active and moving and developing skills by the time they're in 6th grade, that they're more likely to be inactive as adults and, be obese. So do you think that programs like this that introduce them to something new that might actually catch their attention, they might really like, this might be a way that they continue to be active and find something they love? It's a matter of finding what appeals to them, right? Just exposing them to a variety of different experiences and seeing what catches.
Yeah. Not just tennis, but any activity. If they're exposed to it, if they get it at an earlier age and see that there are some benefits to it, then it's going to be that much easier for them to do it later on in life. And if we're just talking tennis is a lifelong sport. So it's a sport you can play at age 5 and a sport you can play at age 85. So you can figure out a way to do it. So it should help them.
Well, such a good point, and we're so excited that both Rogers and Adams have begun tennis programs because of the efforts made in the elementary schools to see that those efforts will then continue to middle school. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to find ways to incorporate it into your curriculum.
Thanks, and thanks for coming by, and thanks for the opportunity to expose these kids even a little more.
Tiffany, it is so exciting to see all of the efforts that you and your staff have put into working with our district, to see it coming to life with the students playing tennis, the teachers embracing it. But we also heard some students mention that they would like to play beyond the school day, that they want to involve their siblings, their parents, their families. So can you tell us a little bit about any additional resources or programs that families together can become involved with to play tennis?
The biggest thing is go to your parks. Go to your parks that have tennis courts. I know I've looked up to see there's not a ton of tennis courts in the parks of Lawndale, but there is in the surrounding areas in Hawthorne and some of the other areas. So there's lots of programming there. Go to our website, scta.usta.com, and find out some local programming. But go to your parks and start playing on the tennis courts there. You can play on your garage doors and just hit as a backboard. Go to your sporting goods stores. You can buy tennis courts, and the modified equipment's all should be there. And get started playing tennis. It's a great sport.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for everything you've done for our students, for our families, for our teachers. It's a really great program, and I'm excited to see how it continues into the future. So I think that our schools have really benefited from the resources that Tiffany has brought to us, and also Ronita bringing the program originally. And in addition to tennis, we wanted to highlight another program that we have going on in our community, which is yoga. And instead of focusing just on the schools, we're going to be showing you a little bit of footage from the programs being provided at the Lawndale Library, where they have ongoing yoga classes. So let's go ahead and take a look, and also be prepared to stand up and maybe even follow some of the movements from the instructor.
All right, welcome everyone. So let's do a little seated meditation for our yoga practice today. So come onto your sit bones, let your hands come out onto your thighs. Close your eyes once you arrive here. Turn your palms to face down towards the ground and sit up really tall through your spine. Just allow your body to find stillness. Feel the natural flow of breath just moving in the body here. Shoulders are relaxing. Slowly start to deepen your breath in and out through your nose, allowing your spine to grow even taller, creating more space in your lungs. And as you're breathing here in and out through the nose, start to search for a little sound of ha in the back of the throat, so you're restricting the breath just a little bit, creating your yogic breath, Ujjayi breath. We always start in stillness here at the beginning of our practice, just to ground our energy, to give your practice a really nice, good, fresh start every single time. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Hold the breath in at the top. And exhale out through your mouth. Good, inhale through the nose. Exhale out through your mouth. One more like that, clearing breath. Deep inhale. And full exhale. Closing the lips. In and out through the nose. Let your fingertips find the ground in front of you. And just gently walk your hands forward, bowing over your shins. Letting your head fall heavy. Growing long through the back of the neck. Good. Stay low. Walk your hands over towards the right here. And as you walk your hands over towards the right, keep your left sit bone on the ground. Draw down through the left shoulder. And walk your hands through center and over towards the left. Right sit bone stays grounded. Right arm reaches out. Right shoulder drops a little bit. And gently walk your hands back to center and roll up through your spine. Let's take our hands behind our back, interlace the fingers, and open up your chest. Just feel the space between your collarbones opening up. And softly drop your chin down a little bit more for the back of the neck. And let your chin roll to the center line of your chest. Right hand back to the right thigh. Lift your head straight up through the center. Good. Let's make our way onto our hands and our knees on our mat. So come onto your hands and your knees. Hands right below your shoulders, knees below your hips here. Tuck your toes under and press back towards your feet for a moment. So stretching into the bottoms of the feet, let your head fall heavy. Back of the neck is long. Then allow yourself to come back up onto your hands and your knees. Flatten down through the ankles if you wish. Flip your palms around and try and get your fingertips to face back towards your knees. And just a gentle rocking here. Allowing the backs of your arms, forearms to open up here just a little bit. Wrists. A little softening in the elbows so we're not hyperextending. And flip your palms back around, hands below your shoulders. Opening up through the chest. Inhale, melt your heart, lift your gaze forward and through, open up the throat. Exhale, round and dome into the upper back. And inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Bring your big toes together to touch. Separate your knees a little bit, hips back towards your heels. Reach forward through your arms, forehead down towards the earth. Find child's pose. Let's rock back up onto our hands and our knees. Step your feet back into a plank position. Lift your hips up and back, finding downward dog. Let's make a little bit of movement through the legs, pedaling out through the legs here. Let your head fall heavy. Feet are just about hip-width distance apart, and as you're pedaling back and forth, breathing into the backs of the legs. Strong arms here. Good, let's take this into a forward fold. So walk your fingertips back to meet your toes. Folding at the back of the mat. Head hangs heavy, a little softening at your knees. Hands reach to opposite elbows. And find just a gentle sway here, side to side. Good, fingers release down towards the earth. Inhale, come halfway up, lift your heart. Good, exhale, fold on in. Walk your hands all the way back forward into downward dog. Good, lower your knees down towards the earth. Hips back, sit back towards your heels, come back to child's pose. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more movement here. Come join us in our class here at the Lawndale Library.
We hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about tennis and yoga in our community. For more information about additional resources or community programming, please go to lawndalelifestyle.com. I'm Siri Perlman. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Lawndale Lifestyle.